Take it off or I will.
The Curious Case of Death Wish 2. The original Death Wish features one lone, mustachioed badass with a six-shooter and a grudge laying waste to every shitbag in New England. But by Death Wish 3 and 4, that same edgy drifter is going apeshit with a minigun and engaging in grenade launcher duels in a crowded fucking skating rink. Okay, Death Wish 2 then functions as the integral middle chapter to get us from Paul Kersey, terrified and desperate vigilante, to Charles Bronson, urban fucking Rambo. It's a credit to both Bronson and director Michael Winner that it accomplishes this feat with style, boundless attitude, and motherfucking aplomb, while simultaneously standing on its own as an excellent film and in many respects an objective improvement over the superb original Death Wish film. Can we just all agree that Paul Kersey begins this film way too fucking happy? Afternoon Sunday strolls with his banging hot English MILF of a girlfriend, trips to the ice cream parlor with his insensate daughter. One does not simply smile at a Death Wish film and expect to survive. So naturally, Morpheus and his conspicuously multicultural milieu of assorted shitbags, no doubt flying high on red pills, stumble on this walking Kodak moment and somehow manage to swipe Bronson's cash and wallet while fleeing with what remains of their fucking lives. That is, all of them but one.
Where's my wallet?
I ain't got it.
So yeah, the thing about this series is that if Death Wish is in the title and 15 entire minutes have elapsed, no less than 2 needlessly graphic depictions of sexual assault have occurred on film. And sweet Virgin Mary is this film ever called fucking Death Wish.
No! No! No!
Are you hungry? Let's see what Rosaria has for dinner.
I hope it isn't rape. Bronson stumbles on the intruders in the act and once again mercifully allows them to continue to live, this time by falling unconscious. Deliberately, I can only assume. They haul Bronson's daughter off to the rape chamber, and after a scene I don't feel comfortable describing, let alone showing, fucking this happens. And the moral of the story is never be related to Bronson.
They don't need us anymore. Let's go back to my place. They're going to be all night.
Mr. Kersey, we just got some news about your daughter.
How is she?
Yeah, the thing about that is...
Is this your daughter, Mr. Kersey?
Ah, the infamous tact and compassion of the LAPD.
Mr. Kersey, is that Carol?
Mr. Kersey, would you please identify this lifeless, thoroughly violated, and recently impaled husk? After this manner of affront, it takes him no time flat to go from 0 to Bronson. Whereupon we learn that there is literally nothing Charles Bronson can do that is not punctuated by a brooding 80s synthesizer riff. Decked out in hobo duds and living a double life as a vagabond, it isn't long before he steps in a pile of shitbag. He soon corners his quarry in an abandoned warehouse caked in rat shit, and thus begins one of the most gleaming examples of unbridled Bronson in the history of this long and celebrated medium.
You and you out. Not you. You believe in Jesus.
Yes, I do.
Well, you're going to meet him.
Within minutes, he's back out on the street and into the waiting arms of a gaggle of politically correct, Jessica Chobot Americans.
Of course, in my case, my car's such a mess anyway, a few more bangs wouldn't make much difference. Now, here's Jerry Nichols with some news of an experiment in Illinois that's taking young people away.
Bitch, you wouldn't survive a single thrust. Of course, by then, another 15 minutes has elapsed, and we all know what that means. Following the woman's anguished cries, Bronson isolates the rape gang to a parking garage. Shallow imitation of Batman? Perhaps. But let's see that pussy-ass bitch Bruce Wayne pull this shit.
Go, Mary!
In the biggest coincidence since the last improbable coincidence, it turns out that one of the muggers also raped the shit out of his daughter. Bronson wings him in the arm and lays his ass out, setting the table for a scene so backbendingly Bronson, your nuts will drop by fucking osmosis.
Hey, watch out, asshole!
Goodbye.
Now you tell me there's a vigilante out there. My God. I can just see all kinds of panicked citizens taking to the streets if this gets out. They'll knock off anyone with long hair or tacky clothes.
My God, Spooty, you'll never have a moment of peace. Of course, by now, his old pal Detective Ochoa from the first Death Wish, who, like Bronson, somehow aged in reverse in the 8 years separating these two movies, confronts his banging girlfriend with Kersey's past.
It's all right, Miss Nichols. I'm a policeman. It's about your friend, Mr. Paul Kersey. He killed 9 people in New York City 4 years ago. Now, you see, he's doing it again. We think it would be better if he stopped. I asked him once. Didn't seem to work. I think maybe he'll listen to you.
I hardly ever see him outside of the radio station.
Doesn't it make you wonder what he may be doing at night?
Or who? Of course, Snoopy McPrize-a-lot confronts him with Ochoa's claims, but Charles Bronson knows the lone, immutable basis upon which all healthy relationships are founded. Naked, unadulterated fucking lies.
Listen, when a policeman finds a killer, what does he do?
They arrest him. Well, he did seem a bit odd.
And me, I was one on a long list of people who had family killed by the muggers. For all I know, he might have accused every one of them. But he became such a damn pest that I left New York. But I'll be damned if I leave Los Angeles. I'm not gonna let him come between you and me.
Don't let his pitted concrete face deceive you, Rageaholics. This man is smoother than a baby's ass. And now with the women folk out of town, he can return to the business of being Bronson. And that he does. Bronson stumbles on their little Kobe Bryant dance review and tails them back to a playdate with an arms smuggler.
So, how about those rainbow suspenders, huh?
Dad.
Pretty cool way to keep your pants up, eh?
Dad.
I see these kids now with jive printed on their shirts.
Dad, please just drive the car, Dad.
I'm watching the road, sweetie.
Watch out! What the fuck is going on? He's over there, man!
And thus begins the Bronson Massacre. Morpheus takes the whole behind-the-music thing a bit literally and gets a 9mm lesson in physics. Rapey McJerrycurl takes 2 in the cock, and Rainbow Suspenders bugs the fuck out, only to find himself and his solid steel 1980s automobile going the way of GameStop. Ah, well, I'm sure he expanded into mobile in time. Alas, the luckiest white man in the world, having thrice evaded Paul Kersey, makes it an even 4. The good news, it isn't a full fucking day before the popos are slapping him in irons. The bad news, he's being tried by the California justice system. Take it away, Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals.
But psychiatric testimony indicates that he was under the influence of PCP, a mind-altering drug.
Charles I. Wilson was remanded to the McLaren State Hospital until such time as the medical examining board finds him fit to resume his place in society.
Judge G. Murray Snow over here sentences him to a stay in a 4-star mental institution, evidently oblivious to the fact that Charles Bronson can be a doctor whenever in the fuck he damn well pleases.
What's all that back there?
Well, that's the electroshock room. Since you fellas took over, they don't use it very much. It's all done with kindness now.
What a coincidence. I've been known to kill with kindness.
You, want me to stay?
It's not necessary.
And the award for most creative shitbag demise in a Death Wish film thus far goes to... With the murder being blamed on a freak accident and Bronson fleeing into the night, it appears Paul Kersey may have finally learned his lesson about vigilantifying. Unless...
Betty's giving a new building party next Thursday. We'd like you to join us.
I'll be there.
Are you sure you're free?
What else would I be doing?
And that's how every criminal in the state of California died. You know, except for the elected ones. In many ways, the second Death Wish film is a remake of the first, but with the violence, brooding atmosphere, and omnipresent sexual assault cranked to 11. But fret thee the fuck not, Rageaholics, because by Death Wish 3, we're gonna find a way to crank that violence to about a 20 fucking 8. I'm Razor Fist. Goodbye.